Hey guys, Rilhon here and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to take a look around the RMS Britannic, my latest build here. This is her in her ocean liner appearance, a hypothetical one that is my take on how she would have looked had she not been lost in World War I. So we will go through each deck, from boat deck all the way down to tank top like the other ones. And we'll begin here on the bridge. So here is the bridge itself with one of the steering wheels as well as the telemotors. If we go back here, we get to the wheelhouse, and through this door here we get to the navigating room as well as the captain's quarters in here, bedroom and bathroom. Further aft here we get to the officer's smoke room, and in here is the Marconi wireless room, and then on this side you have their cabin and the silence cabin as well as a dynamo room, so the machinery basically for that space. On this side is all of the officers, so this is the 6th officer, and all the way over here are the other ones. So here's the chief one. This is the biggest of the cabins, except for the assistant commander, which is similar to the staff captain aboard the Q9 ships. This was a new role that was introduced aboard Britannic and other ships of the time of the White Star Line, because it was thought that the captain had too many duties. And it was also thought that adding another sort of secondary captain below him to take on some of those duties would alleviate him a bit and yeah, give him time to think on other stuff basically. So yeah, this is his cabin in here, and this is the bridge wheelhouse again. Here is a short room in here. And that's basically the officer's quarters. So let's move further aft again. Oh yeah, let's just quickly mention, here is the officer's lavatory in here. Very small. Yes, here is the first class area on boat deck. On Britannic, of course, the elevators went up all the way to the boat deck, while on Olympic and Titanic they only went to A deck. There are three first class cabins in here. On Britannic, most of the first class cabins had private bathrooms, and this is a fairly large one for such a small cabin. And on this side I think there isn't one in this one, but there is one in here. Yeah, small one. So yeah, there's 3 cabins up here. Here is the grand staircase, also very different to the one that was seen on Olympic and Titanic. They decided to remove this walkway here and install a big organ here instead. This space around here was meant to act as a dance floor, because dancing was having sort of a re-emergence by the time Britannic was in construction, so they wanted to capitalize on that and have this space here. And you also have the piano up here, so this space would have been very musically inclined, so to speak. And we will get into this space later when we get to A deck. So yeah, that's the grand staircase. On this side we have the gymnasium, which is much the same as Olympics and Titanic's one, except it has a little bit more equipment. And on the other side we have the children's playroom. This was also unique to Britannic, never even added on Olympic later. Very large space, and the best thing is because is that this makes this deck house symmetrical, except for this little part here, and now you'll never be able to unsee that. I'm very sorry, but yeah, that's what they did, and absolutely horrible. That is this section. We'll actually no. Let's go through the gantry davits here. So Britannic was perhaps most well known for her new, very interesting, unique lifeboat davits. These were called the gantry davits, and they were very efficient at their job. It should be noted. It meant that pretty much all the people aboard Britannic when she sunk could be saved, and the only people who died were ones that were already in the water. So yeah, these were very good, even though they're I don't hate how they look, but they do kind of take away a bit from her very streamlined, elegant profile, in my opinion. But yeah, I think they're very cool. They were electrically operated by this little machinery room in here, and they were fully automatic too, so you could completely abandon Britannic. You could set these to go out all the way and then lower the lifeboat, and then there would be no one left aboard. There were also 2 emergency cutter lifeboats on the sides here. That's my Discord, by the way, not yours. I'm gonna quickly fix that. There we go. Yeah, for emergencies, basically, these would be lowered in case someone fell overboard, basically. You can also see here the deck house for the elevator gear is up here instead, while on Olympic and Titanic it was here on this deck. There are also these 2 motorboats, which Olympic... I'm not sure if Olympic ever got motorboats. I'm not sure. I think she did. But yeah, Britannic had them as well. There are 3, 6, technically 8 lifeboats in this forward set here. Let's move further aft here. Here we have the compass platform, the raised deck above the lounge. We have the officers' mess in here where they ate. It's a painting missing here. Here's the pantry, and here is a tank room. Another one on this side, and then on this side is the engineer's smoke room. And here is a staircase for the stewards, at least down all the way to, I believe it went to E deck. And further aft we have an additional 4 sets of gantry davits. There's a lot of lifeboats here. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 12 again. So 24 lifeboats. That's a lot. I believe Britannic had 48 lifeboats or something. You can count that later. But yeah, here is the dog kennels. In here, they're very devoid of dogs, which I should amend probably. And yeah, the 4 funnel here, the deck house is kind of covered a bit. There's some fan rooms and stores and the like in there as well. And then further aft we have the 2nd class area in here. So over there is the officers' promenade. Here is the 1st class promenade. Here is the 2nd class promenade. And here is their deck house. Their forward staircase leads down to F deck. It also has an elevator. And that is the boat deck. And let's continue here on A deck. So let's begin with the enclosed promenade. In here, there are rumors that there would have been a sort of Café Parisien replacement up on here on A deck, but that is unconfirmed, so I have not included it here. But yeah, it's much the same as the one on Olympic and Titanic, except that there were these supports here for the gantry davits, sort of keep a more robust support for them basically. And it goes all the way around, as you can see. Let's head inside to the 1st class forward accommodations on here on A deck. So here is a cabin with a private bathroom. Here's a much larger one, also with a private bath. And then you have these cabins here that are the same basically. So you have this space here as well as this little bathroom. That's the rest of them basically. There's also some bathrooms and baths and yeah, your typical stuff. I'm not gonna go through this because I did it in the previous tours and it's the same basically. Here's a stewardess's cabin. And here we end up with the elevators again, as well as the grand staircase and the organ. You can also go inside here. Very organy interior, as you would expect. And let's go for this side. We have some unique cabins here. Olympic got these later in her career. These are suites, mainly used by West Star Line Company officials. These were in modern style, or also known as Bedroom B. The design of them. Some more here. There's also some baths and toilets around. Alright, so let's go to the other side. Through this corridor, we end up in the reading and writing room, which is much smaller. On Britannic, this little alcove was cut away, or never included in the first place, and this was also done on Olympic later in her career. This was done also to house those cabins on this side here, so that's the reason for that. Here's the lounge, and it's very similar to the ones on Olympic and Titanic, except the carpet. It's kind of a bluish color, and I cannot for the life of me find the source for that, but I know that somewhere it said that it was a shade of blue, so that's what I did here. And let's head aft. We get to the A-deck elevator. This is a midships elevator that was also unique to Britannic. Went from A-deck down to E-deck, I believe. Here is a midships pantry servicing these rooms. Here is the aft grand staircase, leads down to C-deck. There are 3 cabins around here, so there's one here, the private bath, and an identical one on this side, and another one in here. Close that door. Go. And then let's move forward. We get to the smoking room, so this one is very interesting. We have a lavatory first in here. Yeah, this room was unique on Britannic, completely different from Olympic and Titanic's one. They removed this walkway here and added an so-called accumulator room. This was basically batteries. If the power went out, you could hook this up to the electric grid and it would power the electricity. And there's also an access point to the turbine engine room shaft. But yeah, this is very different. I don't remember the style that was used here, but yeah, it's a little bit more simple, and I quite like it for that. It's very, very pretty, this room, and it's my favorite room on Britannic, and my favorite room on the entire Olympic class. So there you go. Moving aft, we have the Veranda Cafe and Palm Court. There's also one on the other side. So that is that for A-deck. And let's continue here on B-deck. And this forward section here was pretty much exactly the same as the one on A-deck. So we have an enclosed promenade down here, very short. This is also brought back from Olympic. Titanic didn't have this, but Olympic had this promenade. It ends here though. Olympics went all the way, so yeah, that's what that is. We have the grand staircase in here, And we also have the post office, or the mail room, sorry. You have 2 phone booths in here, so that's very interesting. And there's some cabins here. And then this is pretty much exactly the same, so I won't go through this again. This is pretty much copied from the deck above. Let's head further aft to the suites. So, we will begin here with the Regal suite. And we begin here with the Empire room in the Regal suite. In here is the veranda, or the private promenade. In here is the Adams sitting room, as well as a French room in here, or bedroom A style. Let's head further aft. We get to that's close, good. This is the one of the Louis XVI style rooms. Here is an Adams room. Let's head through, face through the wall here. Here's French style again. Modern, French, modern, Louis XVI again, modern, French, Adam, modern, Louis XV with the grey walls, French, modern, 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 and modern, and that's it. And then on the other side, we will go through the front again here. Here is Louis XVI style sitting room. Here's also the private promenade. On Titanic, this is pretty much exactly the same. But on the other side, of course, it was changed to be more unique on Britannic. In here is the Empire style room, and we also have a French room in here. Here is Louis XVI. Actually, these are the exact same, so they're completely mirrored on the other side, so I don't have to go through them again. And we have some interior cabins here, as well as some lavatories and baths spread out in the inside here. Here is the this is the elevator again. You can exit it on both sides. Here is the steward staircase again. And in here is the ladies' hairdresser, unique to Britannic. Here's also the manicurist, unique to Britannic, and the barbershop. Not unique to Britannic, but a unique spot where it was placed. Here's the grand staircase again, or the aft one, as well as the restaurant. So this is the restaurant reception room in here. And this was very unique to Britannic, a very large space, and it was kind of like a different alternative to Titanic's one. And then in here is the a la carte restaurant, which was extended out on both sides from Olympic. So on Titanic there was the Café Parisien here, but on Britannic they just decided to do the restaurant, really big restaurant, instead. Let's go out here. Let's head out into the second class area. So here's the forward staircase with the elevator again. We have the smoke room, and there is a pantry in here, as well as a lavatory on the side and a bar in here. Here's the aft staircase for second class, and that's pretty much B-deck, except for this here, so we'll go through this real quick. Yeah, this is the aft set of gantry davits. You could probably say that this ruins her appearance the most, at least in my opinion. They should have just had a normal set of lifeboats here, like the Aquitania had, in my opinion. You had the docking bridge up here, with some gantry machine rooms. And then here, on the poop deck, you have the third class smoke rooms. You went through here and into the smoke room here. This was moved up from C deck. On Olympic and Titanic, this room was on C deck, but here it is instead on B deck. There is a small bar and 2 staircases that leads down to C deck. There's also one here that leads into the general room. And then this staircase here leads down into the infectious hospital. And this staircase here leads down into the steering engine room. We'll get to that later. And that is B deck. Let's continue here on C deck. So we go through the hose pipe here again into the windlass space with this. I forgot the word again. I'll put up the word up on screen. Here's the windlass space with some crew cabins around. And there's also the petty officers in here. Carpenter's store, seaman's mess in here. Fireman's entrance leading down. We have a crew's galley. Sand locker, crew entrance leading down. Potato store, very important. Galley store, seaman's entrance going down. That's that on this side, and we also have on this side we have a small paint locker as well as the fireman's entrance, and goes into the fireman's VC and the trimmer's VC. Here we also have the fireman's wash place, and finally the greaser's mess with the 8. Out here is the forward well deck. This is where third class, a little bit of promenade space. And on Britannic, these hatches were raised up a bit, so it kind of separated the deck in 2 sections. You could walk around, but it was kind of not much space, basically. I also forgot to talk about the forecastle deck. So yeah, you have the cargo crane here, or not the cargo crane, sorry, the anchor crane for deploying the auxiliary anchor here. You have the anchor chains, the machinery. You have the forward hatch, number 1 hatch. You have the breakwaters on the sides, the forward mast with the crow's nest. Some winches, some more winches here. There's also these 2 cargo cranes on the sides. And also the cargo derrick here that would service this hatch, while these 2 would service these hatches, or this hatch here. And let's move forward to C deck proper. So here is the first class cabins on this deck, the forward ones. These are again the suites that you would find on Olympic and Titanic. That would look like this, as well as the private bathroom. You also had the inside cabins in here, which had a small private bath as well. And that's basically this space, so there's not much more to say. It's very repeat again. Here's a pantry, service closet, and the telephone exchange. And here's the grand staircase again. On C deck, here is the enquiry office. This time with sort of a enclosed section here with the glass. It's supposed to be like tinted glass, you can't really see through. Here's also the purser's office in here. Let's go through all the suites. So, we have the Regency suite, or the Regency sitting room. And then here you have the Adams style. And then going for here, we have the French style, modern style, modern style. Here is Louis the 16th, modern style, French, Georgian sitting room, and Adams style. Here's Louis the 16th, and modern, Empire, and here's French, Louis the 15th. Here is French again. Here's Adam. Here's French, French, modern, modern, modern. And that's that on that side. Let's go to the front again. On this side is Louis the 14th sitting room and the Adams style bedroom, French, modern, modern, Louis the 16th, modern, French, Georgian, Adam, Louis the 16th, modern, Empire, French, Louis the 15th, French, Adam, French, French, modern, modern, and modern. That's basically that for the suites on the ship. So let's move back here again. You have these inside cabins here again with the private baths, and you also have the elevator again, and then you also have some more cabins and lavatories and baths. Further aft here is the grand staircase, the aft grand staircase, and yeah, no barbershop, it's been moved upstairs. Here are some crew quarters. We have the restaurant manager in here, chief steward, and the doctor. Very close to his consulting room, where you would go to get yourself checked up if you were feeling ill or if you had broken a bone, perhaps like that one passenger on Titanic that fell down the grand staircase. Let's move forward. This is the second class enclosed promenade. Moving in here, we get to the forward stairs again. And here is the library. And here is the aft staircase with the gymnasium for second class. This was unique to Britannic. Olympic never received this for some reason. And yeah, very nice. Here is the well deck, the aft well deck, very much enclosed now, and this was third class promenade space basically. And here is the third class forwards or main staircase. This led up to B deck. And on this side is the general room for third class, where kind of like their lounge basically. They had a piano and a lot of seating space and tables. On the other side is the hospital. It was mainly used for third class. There's a padded room in here, and there's also some hospital wards scattered around the space. And on this side here is the infectious hospital. This was very isolated for obvious reasons, so you can only get to it from this space here. And then if you go through this wall, we get to the steering gear that turned the rudder. So through this here we can go all the way down to the rudder. And that's the space basically. And then the sea deck. Alright, let's continue here with D deck. So we are here on C deck in the the crew quarters again. Let's head down these stairs into the fireman's quarters. We have the forward hatch here leading down, kind of like a skylight type thing. Here is some firemen in this space. And here's the fireman's mess where they ate. And here's the leading fireman and greaser's lavatory, in addition to the fireman's wash place on this side. Let's head aft. We get to third class space, so these are some cabins here. On Olympic and Titanic, this space was dedicated to a large open space, kind of like a lounge type thing. This was not a thing at all on Britannic. It's replaced with cabins and a large store. It's kind of sad. It was a nice space, but yeah. We had these staircases here that leads down from the well deck, unique to Britannic. Also leads down to E deck. Going through here, we get to D deck, and this space was very similar to the one above on C deck, these cabins, so I won't go through this. There's also this staircase here that I should have mentioned. It went from B deck here that leads down all the way to F deck to the squash court. And here is the first class reception room, the boarding entrances on the sides, elevators, and the grand staircase. On Britannic there were very small like entrance or boarding vestibules, these small little things here, while on Olympic and Titanic these were much larger. So on Britannic they decided, let's just make this smaller and get much more space out of it, and I think that was a very good choice. Very large space, lots of tables and chairs and greenery. I love the space on Britannic. Also the parquetry flooring, which is a lovely floor. Here is the first class dining room. With the brand new lamps, I added these very recently. It's been discovered that this room did indeed have lamps, but mostly for events, I believe. And so I added them here because it's kind of cool. I really do like them. So let's head aft. We get to the first class pantry. Real quick, here is the bar with some, what I assume is like wine storage and stuff. And here is the pantry. On this side there's some storage for utensils and china, plates and stuff, I would assume. Here's the other side of the pantry. We also have the chief steward's office and the second steward's office. Here's a first class pantry scullery where they washed all the plates and stuff. And in here is the knife storage and sharpening. Through here is the main galley itself where all the food was cooked. The food both for first and second class basically. Here's the chef's office. And some coke storage. This is not what you think. This was used for powering some of the furnaces and the ovens. Here's a coal bunker and a larder. This is also where they would prepare vegetables in here. And further forward we get to the second class area, so there's some silver, glass, china, knives and so on. In here is the maids and valet saloon. This was moved down from Olympic on, it was placed on C deck on Olympic. It's now on D deck on Britannic. There's also the post office workers and Marconi wireless operators that ate in here. Here's the second class pantry, where the food was prepared for them. And here is the bakery and confectionery. In addition to, well, the baking ovens on this side here. Got some moldy bread up here, so they better watch out with that. Here's a hoist going down all the way to the food stores on G and Orloptex. Here is the butcher shop. And here is the second class dining saloon, which was pretty much the same as the ones on Olympic and Titanic, except that the chairs and tables were arranged much more like first class, much smaller and individual tables, which is very nice. Through here is the forward staircase again, and here's the aft staircase. And now we get to the first second class cabins. So these were the same on Olympic and Titanic, basically, just copied over. They look like this, basically. Not much to say about this. Very simple but very cozy. So yeah, that's that. There's also some lavatories in here. And then we'll go through the wall here. We get to third class. We have the staircase here again. And some third class cabins. Just real quick, we have the lavatory here for the women and the men. And here's some cabins. And that's basically the deck. Alright, so let's continue here with E-deck. So we are here in the fireman's quarters again. Here's a trimmer's berth. Here is a trimmer's berth. And here is a trimmer's berth. So the trimmers are all like concentrated on this deck here. The trimmers, if you're wondering, were for like shifting the coal and making sure that the ship stayed at an even keel. And they distributed it evenly. This is the greasers, or one of them, one of their berths. Let's go through the wall. We end up in the third class area. This is the forward section, section B, where this one was for the men, basically, single man all the way down. So yeah, this is a typical third class cabin, very simple. Here's a men's lavatory. Here are the number 2 and 3 hatches. Some more cabins. Here's the interpreter and third class steward. Another cabin in here. We have women's lavatory on this side. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the entrance. There are 2 entrance ways on the sides, which third class and sometimes I believe even first class would board through when the necessity arose. We will begin on this side here from now on. This is the first class area. These cabins were pretty much like the deck above. Again, they're very simple but nice all the same. These kind of suites. And there's also these inside cabins. These ones don't have any private baths though. And here is some additional cabins. These ones were first class only. No, not this one. That is for male clerks. Here's one. This one was for first class only, while you could actually have a gate here. And then this could be converted into second class if there were enough bookings. And that was the case on this entire deck for pretty much all the cabins. Between first and second, they could be converted between them. Moving forward, we have the elevators here and the grand staircase. And moving forward here, we're just going to skip through. Here is second class mainly. And this could be converted into first class. as well. Here's a typical second class cabin in here. What's unique about these was that they had a kind of red carpet, because they were alternate second and first class cabins, so they needed to be a little bit more fancy, basically. So on the inside again, there's these single cabins and lots of lavatories and baths. And here's the elevator. And a staircase that leads up to the pantry. Some more second class cabins here. We have some inside cabins, this time a little bit larger. There's a bath and lavatory in there, and through these doors here is the barbershop for second class. This staircase leads up to the second class pantry. Here is this chief second class steward. He has his own little window here. And here is the main second class entrance on E deck. You have the forward stairs here again. And here are some more cabin quarters. Aft staircase here, and the purser's office in here. This was also a desk here which could service third class passengers. They're on this side here, so they could also inquire if they needed anything. And yeah, it ends around here. So there's some bathrooms and lavatories, cabins on the outside. Let's go through here. Here's third class again. Plate man, kitchen porters, second scullerman, plate washers. Third class and the crew was mixed in this area, very much so. So you had also the third class cabins, and in addition to some crew cabins. And yeah, there's a bunch of third class cabins in this area here. This was mainly for women and families in the stern. Chief third class steward is in here. There's the main staircase again. Now in this area, this is very interesting. I think I forgot to... I thought this ended here, yeah. This area is really interesting because this is second class. This wraps around third class. All the way around here. These cabins were alternate second and third. This could be converted into third class if necessary. And we will go from here. So this is the aft third class entrance. In here is the potato room. Very important. And the printing room, where they printed menus and such. Here's a hoist. Again, it leads up to this galley that we saw earlier. And it also leads down into the food stores. You can also see up here is the a gangway plank, and there's also one over there for when you needed to board from a very small ship, so you could put that on the side. You can walk up basically. Going through here is a bunch of crew cabins. So this is mainly the restaurant staff for the a la carte restaurant. Actually no, this is for the regular dining rooms. The restaurant staff is down here. We'll get to that later. A little small fan store. We have the turbine engine room casing entrance. That's a mouthful. Yeah, that leads down all the way there. Engineer's mess, where they ate, down here, or not in here rather. There's also a small pantry. Here's the chief engineer. Got a very nice cabin here. perhaps second to only like the captain. Here's the crew entrance through these doors. Here's the reciprocating engine room, the casing entrance. We'll get to that later. Waiters, bell and lift boys, bedroom stewards, waiters, leads down to F-deck. And here's the engineering department, so assistant, chief engineer in there, and then you have all of these different engineer roles, senior, second engineer, intermediate, and so on. They all look like this basically. And then there's even more engineers and quarters in here, basically. Here's the steward's staircase again, leading up. We have some engineers and stewards, engineers and storekeepers. And then going across this here, this is Scotland Road, the main crew companionway, very famous. There are cooks, stewards, petty officers, riders, storekeepers, children rooms, attendants, a ton of different crew berths in here, and I'm not going to go through all of them. But yeah, here's a typical one. There's also lavatories here for the various roles. Here's the entrance to the third class dining salon, going in down here to F-deck. We'll get to that later as well. You can show an ash place, so this is some tanks for fat, and the ash place in here where they would dump or they would take out ash from the boiler rooms while in port. They couldn't just dump them out, they needed to dispose of them while on land. Yeah, this led down to the boiler rooms, or rather the what were these called? The coal bunkers. Stewards have the number 3 boiler room escape, so you could escape all the boiler rooms through these doors on Scotland Road. Saloon waiters in here. Here's a steward's mess, so where they ate basically. And then all the way back here is the entrance again. Some third class cabins in this space. And then a staircase leading down to more third class cabins. And that's pretty much the E-deck. And now we continue on here with F-deck. We are in the fireman's quarters. Here's some more firemen in here. Here's the leading greasers. And the leading greasers on this side as well. Here's some leading firemen in here. Let's head through this wall. We end up in a third class open berth area. So this is section C. Going in here is section F. This is cabins though. And then further aft here we get to section H with even more cabins. In here is a fan room. This was used for ventilating the boiler rooms. There were 6 of these, each one for each boiler room, and they pulled air all the way from up here. So the air went through these vents all the way down into here. And these cabins went all the way back here, and then through this wall we end up in the linen store facility. So you could dry the linen in here. You access this through these stairs from Scotland Road. And here is soiled linen, very disgusting. Here is clean linen. This was where it was stored. And here's a drying room. And another fan room. And here is the swimming bath for first class. Much more ornate than on Olympic and Titanic for sure. And yeah, it's a shame that Britannic was never put into ocean liner service, because this room is very nice. Here's a toilet, and here is the Turkish baths. So we have the electric bath in here. Here are 2 shampooing rooms. And here's the temperate room. I've explained what it is, the Turkish baths, how they worked before, so I don't need to repeat myself. Here's the hot room, kind of like a sauna type thing. And there's a kind of like an alcove in here. In here is the cooling room. And some changing rooms in here. Here's the first class staircase again. You can see all the way up. Very nice grand staircase. Here's another fan room. And here's some crew areas for the Turkish baths attendants, basically. Female Turkish bath attendant in here. Turkish bath attendant locker. Clothes pressing room. Male Turkish bath attendants. Assistant second stewards. Baggage master, squash, racket court, professional and gym attendant. And then in here is a second steward. We go through the wall. We end up in the third class dining saloon. This area was for the women and the families, while this was for the single men. They were divided up by these watertight doors. And then back here is the pantry for the third class dining saloon on both sides. Here is the galley and the coal bunker for that galley. Here's the baker shop. Here is the bread room and the potato wash place. And a potato room in here. Here's some butchers, bakers, and third class stewards, first and second pantrymen, platemen, and boot stewards. There's also a fan room in here. Final one. Oh yeah, let's go through here. We end up in some more crew areas. I believe this is, yeah, this is the, yeah, some additional stewards and such in here. On the other side, I believe this is the restaurant department. Yeah. Chef is in here. So all the way down over there. Through this wall here is some second class rooms. They look like this. And on this side as well. Through here we end up in the forward staircase, the lowest level that it went to. And then even more cabins all the way aft to the aft staircase. This was the lowest level that this went to as well. Cabins, cabins, cabins. All the way back here. Through this wall we end up in some third class areas. You have the main staircase here again. And they look like this. Very basic. And that's pretty much F-Deck. Alright, so we continue here with G-deck. So we have this watertight hatch leading down, so that's a new feature on Britannic. Fireman's wash place in here, and the fireman's wash place in here, and some more firemen in here. Let's pass through the wall. We end up in some third-class cabins. Further forward is some more third-class cabins. These ones were portable, so they could be removed, and this space could be used for cargo in case it was necessary. Over here is the mail room in here. I forgot to mention the squash court, so we'll go through up here, down here, and in here. We end up in the squash court for first class. This was accessed through this staircase that was here. We saw this before. Went from B deck all the way down to G deck here with the squash court. Going through the wall, we end up here in the top coal bunkers. And these... oh, there's a pool here again. Yeah, this... back to the aft boiler room. And then in here was the engine room again. We have the engineer's workshop in here. And then the, another workshop on the side, in addition to the paint store. We have some oil tanks and also the brine return tank room. This was used for the refrigerating machinery. And then in here is the turbine engine room. We'll get to this later. Here is some the food stores. So this is for the restaurant. Yeah, lots of different foods in here. Foodstuffs. Groceries, bulk store, vegetables, and so on. Here is some groceries. This is for the rest of the ship, basically. Flower store. Tobacco. We have American stores, dry fruit. Here's a handling room. This was the number 4 hatch, led down here. A wine room. And the ales and stout. And further forward here is second or third class areas. Alternate cabins again. And that was the case in this compartment as well. And then through here is third class again. We have the main staircase going down to this deck. And a blanket store over here. And that is F deck, or sorry, G deck. And from now I will go each compartment at a time. So we have the orlop deck, we have the lower orlop deck, and we have the tank top. So we'll begin here through this hatch, the number 1 hatch, going down all the way here. This is number 1 hatch. Let's real quick turn on night vision. There we go, so you can see. Number 1 cargo hold. This is the orlop deck, lower orlop deck, and the tank top. And we'll go up again, go through this hatch, number 2 hatch, all the way down to number 2 cargo hold. This is the orlop deck, and this is the tank top. Number 3 cargo hold, You see that they had these staircases. These were portable. This was used for third class if needed. I forgot to mention the I think this is the mail room down here. So I forgot to mention that. Parcel room in here. Specie room. This was where they stored valuables. And then on this side is baggage for first class and second class. And then through this hatch is the tank top and more cargo space. And then we will get to the boiler rooms. So, this is a number 6 boiler room. This one was unique in that these furnaces, there were only 4 of these boilers. They were both double-ended though, like the rest. While in the other boiler rooms, there are 5 boilers in a row, basically. And you could exit these through these walkways, go all the way up to the boat deck. They're separated by watertight doors. You can see one here. There were some pump rooms and ash ejectors pumps on the sides here. And there were also the coal bunkers that they shoveled coal from in between. And let me see, if I go through here, you have the coal bunker here. You can go up into these trimming spaces that I saw before. And let's head through into the final boiler room. Is this one? First number 1 boiler room. And yeah, it's also unique in that there were 5 boilers, but they were single-ended, so you could shovel in coal from this side. Through these doors here, we get to the reciprocating engine room. It powered the outer 2 propellers on Britannic. There's a ton of pumps here on the sides, the condenser, and yeah, ton of pumps and machinery. There's also the refrigerating machinery here. Then through this door here we get to the turbine engine room. You have the turbine here in the middle, in addition to the condensers on the sides. And there's some more pumps and machinery scattered around. This drove the center propeller. Here's one of the electric engine rooms. Here's the switchboard room up here. This was where the electricity was maintained aboard the ship. And then here is the second electric engine room. They were separated by this watertight compartment on Britannic, unlike on Titanic. Here's a shaft alleyway, and here's another one. And let me go through the cargo spaces here. Here's the number 5 cargo hold, and here's the number 6 cargo hold. This was for refrigerated cargo, like here. And then finally, real quick, I'm gonna go through the food stores on the orlop deck. Real quick, just skim through them. All kinds of foods. I'm not gonna go through what each of them held, but yeah, you can explore that yourself if you want. That is pretty much the bottom decks of Britannic. So that is pretty much it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.